Coming to you live from Baldwin Wallace University. We are at Tressel Field for a women's soccer home game tonight. The Yellow Jackets and the Yo Women from Oberlin College. Apologize that we're just a little bit delayed tonight in getting to you. Working through some technical issues, but the game is only a couple of minutes old and scoreless at the moment. The Yellow Jackets on the attack here, playing through one of their young freshmen on the move, Natalie Stewart. And the Jackets couldn't quite find a way to penetrate that time. Jackets in white, and Oberlin is in predominantly burgundy with some gold lettering and numbering. I'm Brendan Gulick along with Luke Schradel. Yellow Jackets, on the start of the season, it's been a bit frustrating if you look at purely the statistics or the scoreboard. But Jim Whitekin, the head coach of the Jackets, told me with authority, he said, this is absolutely some of the best soccer we've been playing since he took over as head coach. He said the level of competition the first 3 games of the year has been really stiff. They did that intentionally. And with a few players that have not been available, it's been hard for the Yellow Jackets to rely on necessarily veteran leadership. 7 freshmen and sophomores, Luke, starting tonight. But Jim Whitekin is really happy with the form so far, especially in the midfield.
Yeah, you got a couple freshmen starting, and obviously you have a very young roster. But you have one senior out there, a leading goal scorer from last year in terms of upperclassmen. Maddie Farrell had 2 goals last year. She looks to be the senior to lead this team, as they are very young, ranked number 6 in the preseason poll. I know Jim didn't have too many nice things to say about that. He said that they have a lot to prove in this tough OAC.
Well, this is a really, really tough conference, and frankly, it might be as good now as it's ever been in women's soccer. But the Yellow Jackets feel like they are on the verge of building something really special here, and it might take a little bit. This one's pulled in fairly easily by Belle Smith, the senior goalkeeper for Oberlin out of St. Paul, Minnesota. But the Yellow Jackets are excited about the future. You know, the old saying, you want to look toward the future and build for the future, but you got to figure out a way to compete and win in the present. Obviously, that is the ultimate challenge, right? But the Jackets feel like they are on the verge of building something special. This is Jocelyn Wong, the freshman playing wide out on the right. We'll give you the starting lineups here in just a second. All the starters in for both teams still. This one rolled slowly at Yellow Jacket keeper freshman Katie Scott, who gets the start tonight. Her second start of the season as BW through their first 3 games has started 3 different goalkeepers, Maddie Hoffman, Abby Pfeiffer, and Katie Scott. Jackets will line up this way tactically along the back line from right to left. Their right back is Anna Wolfinger, a sophomore from Wadsworth. Right center back is Haley Schwade, a freshman from Greater Columbus, went to Olentangy Orange High School. Ella Barth here on the attack, out wide on the right. This is Maddie Farrell, chipping it and spinning toward the keeper, but Smith makes the play. So Schwade in at right center back. Left center back is Paige Ackerman, a sophomore from Sandusky. And wide out on the left-hand side, the always dependable Audrey Scatino. Andrea, a senior from Niles McKinley High School out in Girard. Yellow Jackets in the midfield, entrusting play to Bella Regal, a senior also from McKinley High School. Regal's playing the 8. The 6 right now is Brandy Philippi, junior midfielder out of Pickerington North. And Maddie Farrell, who is back after an injury last year out of Macomb, Michigan. She is in her senior season. And then on the attack, Ella Barth, I mentioned her. She's a freshman from Highland. The center forward at the moment is Natalie Stewart, freshman from Blacklick, which is down in Columbus. And out on the attacking side on the left, the 11 position, Bailey Hall, a sophomore from Olentangy. So a lot of youth in this starting lineup for BW here this evening. Katie Scott, freshman goalkeeper, also from Olentangy. And the Jackets are hoping to pick up a win in their first home game here of 2021. Farrell plays this one in from the left. Stewart couldn't get to it. The ball ricocheted. Actually believed that it was off of Maddie Farrell centrally. That was Bailey Hall that played it in from the left-hand corner. So Farrell was the one that redirected it on frame. No score. We're in the 8th minute. Oberlin starting lineup. They've got Belle Smith in goal. Mentioned St. Paul, Minnesota native. The rest of Oberlin's starting lineup includes a number of young players as well. Zoe Garver, Samantha Gilfond, Bryn Adams, Adrienne Sato, Sophia Mitchell, Maddie Rye, all of them underclassmen, as is Jocelyn Wong, a young lady from San Francisco. There is a senior in the midfield in Madeline Lynham, and Sophia Payne, a senior who is from the West Coast as well, San Juan Capistrano out in California. Heather Benway and Maya Minson round out the starting lineup for Oberlin. All right, now we've got our breath caught. Got a little caught up here with the starting lineups. We are 9 minutes in. Maddie Farrell trying to make a move on the ball here. Adams held it off.
I love how aggressive they've started on their challenges, just going after that ball and try to make something happen. You know, they haven't scored a goal in their first 3 games, and they want to make something happen early in their home opener.
And while it is true, factually, they have not scored in 3 games, they've hit the bar 5 times. Jim Whitekin told me, somewhat laughing, but certainly I think there was an element of seriousness in the undertone. He said, you know, if we would have scored 1 on Sunday, I'm convinced we would have scored 5. But not to be so far. The Yellow Jackets with defeats that have been competitive but frustrating. They've played a couple of really good teams so far. Kalamazoo early on beat them 2-0. Penn State Barron, who Jim Whitekin said is probably an NCAA caliber team this year. That game was a 3-0 final. And then Sunday at Fredonia, a 1-0 contest in that one. Big difference, though, for the Yellow Jackets this year. He said so far the goalkeeping has truly been excellent. And that, again, the stat sheet just doesn't tell the truth. A lot of times you think if a goalkeeper is giving up goals that it's necessarily their fault. And he said that really hasn't been the case. We have to defend better collectively. Those are Jim Whitekin's words. He is really impressed so far, especially with Abby Pfeiffer and with Katie Scott, the 2 freshman keepers.
And when you start 3 different keepers in 3 different games, you know, you're kind of riding the hot hand. And obviously he thinks Katie Scott has that hot hand coming into this one.
Jackets are also a little thin right now out on the attack. They are down really 4 players. More on that in just a moment. Oberlin building through the midfield. Lynham plays it. This is Minson. Sato. Oh, Garber forgot the ball for a second, then regathered herself, tapped it forward. The Jackets do not get an offside call, and instead BW with Haley Schwade stepping in the way. Has to go back and defend a corner kick coming.
Defense does a nice job of letting the offense go down to a worse angle on the net there. Forces a corner. Rather have that than an easy goal in front.
Oberlin takes the short corner. That worked out well for BW. It is a Jacket throw. Good work from Maddie Farrell. Anyways, the Jackets have not really been at full strength, and perhaps, at least through preseason camp, the young lady they expected to be one of their primary offensive players, Sydney Rice, who transferred to Baldwin Wallace from Walsh University. She's been unable to play. She was away from the team for the last couple of games, but they are quite glad to have her back and available tonight. Not starting, but we are told Sydney Rice will play as she works her way back in fitness this evening. Anna Wenzinger and Casey Goluboff have also been out. Those are some more veteran options up front. Good combination play there with Adams. Little shooting space, turns it right. Nicely covered up by Katie Scott. And the ball goes wide for a goal kick in the 13th minute.
Scott's first goal kick was beautiful, right into the middle, setting up our offense nicely. But I'll choose to go with a different clear here. Their first clear, you guys didn't get to see that one. It was nice up the far side.
Oberlin, by the way, comes in fairly good form. They lost their most recent game to Juniata, but 2 victories prior to that with a 9-0 margin in their favor combined against Bluffton and Penn State Altoona. I'm confident in telling you they didn't play the same caliber of competition the Jackets did, but you score 9 goals. You certainly are doing something right. Garver charging the left side. Crosses to the middle. The Jackets are in trouble, and they give up a goal. Oberlin strikes first tonight in the opening quarter hour of the game. It's an early goal for Oberlin senior Madeline Lynham. 1-0 Yo Women.
And that's exactly what Coach Voikin is talking about, not letting them get opportunities close to the net. And really, Katie Scott had no chance at saving that one. It's a nice pass inside from Oberlin.
So Zoe Garver picks up the assist. That was textbook as the Yo Women get on the board first tonight. By the way, Lynham, first goal of the season for her. But she's been a productive player during her career. 8th career goal. Had 5 2 seasons back. Of course, this Oberlin program did not have a full 2020 opportunity like many of the other programs around Division III did. Everybody kind of did their own thing, made their own decisions at the school or at the conference level, and it was Oberlin's decision not to compete during the pandemic either last fall in 2020 of the fall or in the springtime in 2021. So there is some level of, as a program, the Jackets have had perhaps a few more opportunities. But again, with such a young team and so many of those players as freshmen, and that would have been a part of things last year in the springtime. I'm not sure that's a huge difference maker on a night like tonight. Sure is a gorgeous early September evening in Berea. Past 7 o'clock local time.
You don't think it gets any better than this for soccer?
Well, the sun is setting earlier and earlier now in Northeast Ohio, so even here at 7:15, I would say 96 or 97% of the entire field is now covered in the shadows of the press box and the home stands. Won't be long before we're into total darkness. In the meantime, Farrell Barth. Wolfinger. I believe that's off Oberlin, isn't it? Oh, they're going to say it was last touched by the Jackets. Okay.
Jackets having a little bit of trouble possessing the ball. Early on, they were very successful with keeping it away from Oberlin.
Really like the play of Sato so far in the midfield. She's got good presence, good calmness. Her size, I think she can use to her advantage. She's a tough matchup, especially for a Yellow Jacket midfield that is good, but certainly undersized by her standards. Well, the heights aren't listed on the roster. There's no way that Sato is shorter than 5'10 or 5'11. I would have guessed she's more than 6 feet tall. 19th minute, 1-0 Oberlin. This is Sato on the ball. Feeling like she didn't have enough coming forward, wisely took it the other way. That's good pressure from the Yellow Jacket defensive back. And how about the creativity now from Stewart? Ella Barth looking for some help. Barth stymied by Mitchell. By the time she threw it across to the middle there, it was much less threatening. Really good work by the Oberlin defense to recover after BW looked like they were really mounting something.
Stewart did a nice job of dodging the defender and then heading it forward to Barth, but Barth really didn't have an opportunity as the Oberlin defense covered up nicely.
Farrell steps into one. Not a bad idea from space. But an awfully long way out, and if you don't put it perfectly on target, that one won't find the back of the net.
3 shots on goal for the Jackets, but they just haven't been the quality that you need to see. Oberlin only 2 shots on goal, but the 1 shot on goal that they scored was right in front of Katie Scott.
Wolfinger plays a negative pass. Good patience from BW. There's a good vibe at the way they're playing at the moment. I kind of like the rhythm and the feel of the game. I like the aggression of the Jacket front line. I think the biggest thing that Jim Woytkin said to me earlier today that stood out is that in each of the team's first 3 games, when he reached halftime, the team and coaching staff collectively agreed that they had been the better team in the first half in each game, but that their opposition had been the more dangerous team in each of the 3 games. He said right now that's the big challenge, trying to figure out how to be a little bit more dangerous. BW's been playing a brand of soccer here recently that's been more reflective of the beautiful game. They need better scoring chances like perhaps this one. It fizzles away quickly.
Lynham does a nice job of getting it outside of the middle. Most dangerous part of the field.
The men's soccer team 1-2 overall is back in action tomorrow.
But like you said, they've been really aggressive in the front line, and obviously that'll make you a team that's more scary offensively, but you know, playing it slow and waiting for your game to come to you, that's also a great strategy as well.
Barth got taken off the ball. Minson won it away. A chance for Garber. Garber wins it.
Excellent win by Garber.
Good tackle. Was physical for sure. And unfortunately, one of the O women is down, but a good, clean, hard tackle by the Yellow Jacket left center back, Paige Ackerman. Thankfully, Oberlin's young lady has gotten back to her feet. That was Blevins, the substitute who came on, who went down hard. Halfway through this opening half, 1-0, Yo Women out front. Jackets trying their best to just stay in the hunt at the moment. Couple of substitutions. Oberlin bringing on Morgan Cianfici and Natasha Lee. The Yellow Jackets have subbed on Sydney Rice, who will go play at the center forward spot. I believe she came on for Bailey Hall. And Stewart went out wide left. And the other Yellow Jacket sub is Hannah Bursick, sophomore out of Uniontown. Bursick comes in for Wolfinger at right back. Free kick given to the Yo Women. And all eyes right now on the new center striker, Sydney Rice. First appearance of the season for her. Getting a chance to get her legs back underneath her. Yellow Jackets really excited about what she brings to the table from a scoring perspective. There's an element of needing players that can play the beautiful game, but you've got to also have people that can find the back of the net. Rice fighting for one here with Gilfond. Good effort there.
Ilfon really did a nice job of playing her position well. She knew where she was on the field and knew what she had to do to make that defensive play.
Rice trying to win it away. This is Farrell. And Farrell helps the Jackets win a corner kick. So perhaps maybe the best chance for Baldwin Wallace right in front of us at the moment on their very first corner kick of the evening.
Ackerman will head over to take the first corner.
Ackerman toward the backside. What a header! And the Yellow Jackets finally put it home. It ricocheted around before Brandy Philippi scores. It's the first Yellow Jacket goal of 2021. Finally, BW levels this game at 1 apiece.
It went off of Barth and then landed right in front of Filippi there. Right place, right time. And it's a great time to tie it up midway through this first half.
$19:33 left in the first half. And Baldwin Wallace has tied things up. We'll see what that does for their resolve. It's a great corner. In fact, again, without a replay, it's hard to know for certain. But the corner may have actually been headed off the left post before it came to the right. It was obviously deflected that way, but it may have actually hit the left post, unless you saw it differently. That's kind of how I interpreted that. And it came right to Brandy, and no problem putting it home.
It went off 2 Yellow Jacket heads, and the deflection gives them their first goal of the season. You know, you need to get a little lucky sometimes on offense. But it was an excellent corner, placed well, and gives her teammate a chance to put it in at least, and bounces off the pipe, like you said. I definitely think that one went off the pipe.
18:35 left in the first half. Oberlin's goal came in the 14th minute. The Yellow Jackets respond in the 26th. Good little give and go there with Lee. Natasha holds it. And her pass intercepted. Good job by Regal. Now Minson plays it into the center back spot. Jackets trying to clear it. And they do. Good eyes from Rice. Philippi got taken down. Good turn from Natalie Stewart. Stewart's top end speed isn't bad there, and that's a bit of a, wow, I have to admit, I thought it was a mistake by the right back for Oberlin, Sophia Payne. I thought she kicked that out of bounds on her own without a deflection, but no.
I definitely agree with you. It looked like she called for that she hit it out.
As if to say, my bad.
Yeah, she put her hand up in the air and said, my bad, and, well, still Yellow Jacket possession now.
So far at their center back spots, although I think the Yellow Jackets, upon further review and video afterwards, might point to that as being the reason they gave up a goal. That one fell straight down, and Philippi knocks it away. I don't think I would pin the first Oberlin goal on Katie Scott. Oberlin applying some high pressure here. Knocked out by Grace Hayes, it looks like. I'm not certain when Hayes came on, but she is in the game over on the right half of the field. Adams. Rolled back to Hayes. Near side throw in. Baldwin Wallace has a few home games coming up next week. They've got, really, next 2 weeks, probably the better way to say that. Advantage awarded, play on. After going to Case on Saturday, BW will play 3 straight here at home against Hiram, Waynesburg, and Olivet. Regal, Farrell, and ahead with Barth on the run, but too far out in front of her. At first, that looked like miscommunication. Instead, perhaps an effective dummy. Regal turns and cracks it, trying to change sides of the pitch. Played out by Smith. Minson calling ahead, wanting a little help from Sato. Rolled back to the middle. Cianfici. Sato. You could tell she wanted to wind up. Good closing there by the Yellow Jacket defensive midfielder. Good touch. A chance for Garver. It's rolled toward net, but handled fine. Katie Scott right there. Doesn't let it spill away. Play continues here into the 32nd minute. Still level at 1. Samantha Gilfon feeling some pressure from Sydney Rice. Good work there from BW. And we have substitutions on both sides. Yellow Jackets bringing on Alicia Watling and Michelina Rush. There you go, Grace Burns and Clark Waltz checking in for Oberlin. Oh, just over Stewart's head. Good idea, but barely off target.
Stewart had a chance to handle that one. I feel like that could have been a great shot on goal opportunity.
Tell you what, Natalie Stewart has a pretty high soccer IQ for being just a freshman. She's got really good poise. Understands when to play with her back to the goal, when to square her shoulders. Chance here for Rush. It's a goal kick. We've obviously seen Stewart start the game centrally and then move wide left once Sydney Rice came on, but she's a pretty impressive young player. Oberlin making another change here as Sophia Payne comes back in. Bryn Adams will have a seat. Adams from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, home of the Tar Heels. Rush with a chance to step in there, just a whisker too late. .37 on the first half clock.
a nice win by Burns to control the ball again for Oberlin.
Andrea Scatino, who Jim Woytkin gave high praise to and saying, you put her at left back and sometimes you just forget about her because she does her job so well. You never really find yourself paying attention to that side of the field. Your focus goes elsewhere. She is so reliable for this team.
I mean, that really is the sign of a great defender. If you don't have to worry about them during the game.
A chance, a long rip, but off target. I like the aggression there. Dribble once, step, plant, and rip it. But Sydney Rice unable to score her first career BW goal. As Natalie Stewart comes off the field, earns a well-deserved rest. The Jackets making a change there on the attack over on the left side with Jenna Idle out of Dellwood, Minnesota. Inside 10 minutes left in the first half in a 1-1 affair. Lee goes right back to Sato. Good pass across. Payne couldn't get it. The Jackets intercept. Regal ahead for Idle. Almost a perfect pass toward Rush. You can certainly see conceptually where this team has taken some steps forward. Execution's been just barely off. Like the way Watling has competed in the midfield too during her time.
The women's tennis team opens the 2021 fall season on Friday, September
36th minute.
Steubenville for a non-conference match against
Physicality there from Ackerman draws a few oohs and ahs.
home matches on Saturday, September 11th when the team hosts Adrian College of Michigan.
Schwade rolls to Bursick. Little fancy footwork. Rice and Idle. And now perhaps an opportunity for Watling. Not particularly threatening.
Nice job by Idle, though, to just come on and make something happen right away. And although it doesn't result in a goal, it was a shot.
Well, at this juncture, I guess I'm of the opinion that the Yellow Jackets have been a little bit the better side. Oberlin certainly scored a good goal. It wasn't a cheap goal, but it was a defensive breakdown where maybe BW a little bit more sustained pressure and a tougher goal to score in the corner. It may be hard for you to tell at home, but this is some gorgeous sunset sky right now. Purples and pinks and oranges, light blues, cast across some clouds in the distance. Man, oh man. Sato. Now Lee. Well, couldn't connect with Clark Waltz. Jackets slowly looking for a chance. Rice chips it ahead. Lytel. Out of play. Clock's at 6:46 and counting in the first half. Regal swung and missed at it. Recovered. Natasha Lee just trying to get it out of harm's way. Give Grace Burns a chance to stir up some controversy there in the midfield. I feel like lately a lot of Oberlin's touches have been really heavy. Not necessarily connecting passes.
There's another one, just too heavy, like you said, Brendan, and Jackets coming back with another possession.
Watling taps ahead, now Rush. Good effort there from Watling. Just over 5 minutes left here in the first half. Bursick with a good pass forward. Jackets need a little help. Watling is there with space to operate, and she turns it over. Regal to her aid. And Rush apparently was offside. Entering the 41st minute, 1-1. Dan Palmer, the head coach for Oberlin, not happy with a lack of a call there. Serious pressure from Rice. Oberlin rids it. Isabel Smith has done a pretty good job so far tonight. She's certainly playing with a lot of confidence. You really need your goalkeeper to do that. Defended. Jackets needed just a few more yards of real estate to come away with something. Oberlin wants to counter. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Sydney Rice having a little fun. I would think Sophia Mitchell, after getting the better of her last time, Mitchell's feeling pretty good about the way she's played. Perhaps the beauty of it from a film study standpoint is that I'm not sure how well Oberlin has gotten to know Rice's talents because she hasn't played in a game yet while wearing a BW uniform. But by the same token, it doesn't take long to recognize talent once it's out there. And as a center back, you better figure out who the other team's best offensive options are, or you're going to lose games quickly. Watling. Into the 45th minute now, still level one apiece. Are both teams content with a 1-1 score? Or do either of them have perhaps one last push? Maybe coming here from Natasha Lee. Philippi racing to get back. Good job by both center backs there. One played the ball, one played the man. Good teamwork. 30 seconds to go. Little pressure from Itel.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, the half expires. The Yellow Jackets did a nice job, Luke, of coming up with a game-tying goal after going down early. Finally got their first goal of the season, and I'm sure they go into this halftime session feeling like they're making some serious progress.
I think they feel confident that they're still the best team again after this first half. You know, they had more shots on goal, more total shots. Just the goal they gave up was mental error on defense, not getting back in the right spot. And I think if they continue this aggressive, they're going to have a chance of winning this game in the second half.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how that second half plays out here in just a little bit. 15-minute halftime break. 1-1 the score on BWYellowJackets.com.
OEC, a leading technology company in Northeast Ohio, has an established educational partnership with Baldwin Wallace University to help drive the regional technology industry. By granting unprecedented access to patented technology with real-life application, OEC helps enhance and further BW students' educations while preparing them for their future careers. Together with OEC, BW graduates will continue to shape and grow the regional technology community. Visit us at oeconnection.com.
The women's volleyball team, 3-3 overall, is back in action on Friday, September 10th, when it travels to Erie, Pennsylvania to compete in the Penn State Barron Invitational, where they play against Bluffton University at 6 o'clock, and then Fredonia University of New York at 8 o'clock. The next home match is on Wednesday, September 15th against crosstown rival Case Western Reserve University at 7 o'clock. cross-country teams return to action on Saturday, September 11th, when they travel to Springfield to compete in the Wittenberg University Invitational beginning at 11 a.m.
Time to start the second half at Baldwin Wallace with the Yellow Jackets and the Yo Women tied at 1. Alongside Luke Schradel, I'm Brendan Gulick. This has been a pretty good game so far. Two teams that didn't have a ton of opportunities, but both able to capitalize on one. Oberlin scored in the 14th minute off of a BW defensive breakdown, and Oberlin surrendered a Yellow Jacket goal about 12 minutes later. Jackets scored directly off of a corner, able to head one home and tie the game at 1 apiece. Your thoughts there on the first half, what you saw versus what you expected?
Well, we saw a lot of young players come out and show us why they're out here on the field. And the goal, it was a corner, so obviously nothing too special. But the offense, particularly the forwards, have been really aggressive. I hope they keep that up. And if they do, I think they have a great shot at winning this one.
Jackets in white. Oberlin is in their predominantly burgundy or maroon uniforms. I believe they're technically maroon and gold, but it's almost a burgundy color. I like those uniforms, actually. Well, Baldwin Wallace had some really good defensive play, especially from their two center backs, with the exception of the one goal they allowed. Solid play there. Two new center backs this fall with Paige Ackerman and Haley Schwade. Again, 7 freshmen or sophomores that started tonight. The only ones that were not first or second year players. Brandy Philippi, who was the goal scorer. She's a junior in the midfield. Of course, Maddie Farrell, the senior midfielder. Andrea Scatino and Bella Regal. Other than that, a lot of new faces.
One of those new faces we've been talking about a lot was Natalie Stewart. Talked about how good her soccer IQ was, but I think Scatino's having a great game. I think that's one of the reasons that her defense has held up so nice, and they've been moving the ball well and getting things starting to flow. Scott will get a goal kick here. Swings high and finds Barth, but it went right directly over her head. They get it right back. Rice trying to make a challenge, but can't do it. Here comes Oberlin on the attack. Payne sends one to the corner. Scatino with some nice defense.
Really good work there from Andrea. Chased her all the way up the side and found a way to just make that just difficult enough. Really liked the play from Sato there in the first half. Keeping an eye on her moving forward. Sato trying to play up through the middle. Looking for teammate over on the left side. Jocelyn Wong. Adams and Sato. Good work. Stewart comes back to it. Several games across the league today. A couple, unfortunately, that were canceled. Not sure why Heidelberg and Defiance didn't play, nor why Marietta and Olivet had their game canceled. Allegheny's beating Mount Union early in the second half, 1-0. Wittenberg out front of Wilmington 1-0. They are playing just after halftime. Bad day for Muskingum. They got smoked by Worcester 5-0.
Worcester, a team that's receiving votes in the national poll currently in the preseason.
Yeah, Worcester outshot them 33-6.
That's impressive.
Including a goal 41 seconds into the start of the game. Finally, the whistle blows. Oberlin in a threatening spot right here. Heidelberg was supposed to play Division II Findlay today. That game was canceled. John Carroll hosting Hiram, Ohio Wesleyan, and Otterbein playing tonight as well. Back to the game in front of us. For the Oberlin Yo women. Have a really good chance here at the start of the half. Only a few minutes post halftime. Direct shot taken just wide left. Good thought there from Sophia Mitchell, but off target. I know you mentioned Worcester was among the teams that is receiving national votes. I would think that the Otterbein Cardinals have a really good chance here in the Ohio Athletic Conference again this year. Same story with Ohio Northern and perhaps Capital.
I think they have Ohio Northern at 16 or 17. Not quite sure, but that's the only OAC team currently ranked.
Looking for Rice. Philippi flings it in. Oh, she caught the bottom corner. Brandy Philippi. A 2-goal night.
What an absolutely wonderful shot. A great chance right in front of the net, and she puts it in the perfect spot. That bottom right corner, like you said, Brendan. I don't think she could have done a better job on that one. That was beautiful.
On one hand, it couldn't have been hit any more perfectly. On the other hand, I half wonder if she wasn't really shooting. I mean, the ball had so much arc and spin on it, with all of her momentum taking her to the left, shooting across her body, and curling one that, I mean, literally barely caught the bottom inside corner of the frame. Dangerous chance coming here. Sato lays to the side. Good defensive play. Again, good work there from the center backs Ackerman and Schwade.
That was a similar play to the first Oberlin goal. That time the defense learned.
Really good chance for Rice. And it just misses the right post.
Right through the legs of Smith. I think it just hit off her left foot at the end to tap it just to the right of the post.
Excruciatingly close to Rice scoring her first goal at BW.
But so far, the only corner produced a goal for BW. This is their second corner. Oberlin's had 2. They had a corner very early into the match that we didn't see.
Ackerman. Good ball into the middle. Headed effort by Barth. Wide left.
Great ball by Ackerman, though. They had her take that last corner. She tries again, and nice ball.
Morgan Cianfici back on for Oberlin.
Checking in for Oberlin number 2, Morgan Cianfici.
Scatino, after the turf monster ate up the Yo women. Maddie Farrell unable to hold it. Midfield right now of Adams, Cianfici, and Wong. Pretty solid group. Good effort there from Brandy. Having herself a heck of a game. Rice keeps with it. Now Regal. Inside the box on the right, looking back to Sydney Rice. Rice rips a shot that's diving and saved. Smith with a full extension effort to her right. Rice didn't need to put a lot of heat check behind it. Almost placed it perfectly. A fabulous diving effort.
Smith seems fired up after that one, but more frustrated with her defense, making sure to communicate that's not what they were looking for defensively. But a nice chance for Sydney Rice.
Ackerman lines up another corner. Good ball bending in, but headed away. Farrell tries to keep the play alive. Regal controls. A bit sloppy. Yellow Jacket offense there. Got a bit over their britches. That's a really well-measured pass. Adams ahead. Benway threatening. Tried to cut it back. She lost her footing. And then commits a foul.
Almost seemed like she wasn't too sure what she wanted to do there. And when you hesitate, that gives the defense a chance to make a play. Katina does just that.
56th minute of action. Baldwin Wallace 2, Oberlin 1. Good effort from Maddie Farrell. Regal fouled.
Crowd coming alive here in the second half. See if that gives the Jackets some momentum here.
What a great ball ahead for Barth. Excellent footwork from Ella. Crosses back, left-footed shot right at Smith. Goal kick. Got some fireworks here in the second half.
A lot more offense here for the Yellow Jackets. A lot more chances closer to the net than we saw in the first half for sure.
Benway, really good pass, good vision. And thankfully for the Yellow Jackets, Schwade there to clean it up. How about the hustle from Barth? This Yellow Jacket team does not look like a group that is 0-3 entering this game and having been outscored by 6 goals without having put one of their own in. Jim Woodkin's pregame comments to me feel like they are manifesting themselves nicely as Rice rips one from long range. Good thought process there. By the way, the men's soccer team is home tomorrow. They've got the Gators from Allegheny coming to town. We'll have the live stream for you here on BWYellowJackets.com. Barth. Can't teach hustle. You either want it or you don't. Really good work. Great build-up for Rice. Defenders trying to hold their shape. Good work from Ackerman. Changes coming on both sides. Baldwin Wallace bringing Watling back in. Oberlin will sub on Grace Hayes, the senior from Sagamore Hills. Maddie Farrell out for the Jackets. Maya Minson retires to the bench for a moment. Stewart. Nice to hear a home crowd cheering the Yellow Jackets on. They've had plenty to get excited about here in the second half. Good play, attacking up the left-hand side. Scott let it spill, but Scatino was there. Danger not yet removed. Benson plays to the back post. And the play expires. Zoe Garver's having a really good start to this second half as the attacker out wide on the left.
The passing from Oberlin has been a lot better in this half than in the first half. Talked about how their touches were just a bit too much on them, but it looks like they've shored things up here in this second half. No goals yet, and they've been limited in terms of shots on goal.
Barth taps ahead, trying to get centralized. Stewart was there. Regal fighting with it. Pretty physical play there with Maddie Rye and Natalie Stewart. No fouls called either way. Jacket throw. 62nd minute. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Oh, I see. Beg your pardon. There was a chance to bring on a substitute, and the referee stopped things for a moment. What are we waiting for here? Well, the sub is actually coming in for the throw. So Wolfinger out, Bursick in. Clock continues to wind here. Jackets lead at 2-1. Garver trying to stay wide left. Pass just a little bit behind. Schwade playing with Scott.
Good handle by Regal there.
Wow. Great showcase of speed from the Oberlin attacker, Heather Benway. Meanwhile, Maya Blevins back on. Replacing, I believe that was Jocelyn Wong. Yep, Jocelyn Wong just heads out. That's a bad clear. Dangerous spot. Garver persistent. But Kate Scott gets to it. Another Oberlin change. It looks like Natasha Lee. So she comes on. As is typically the case with a lot of Oberlin's student athletes, it is certainly a national footprint. They have kids from all over America. Minnesota, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, California, Indianapolis, Massachusetts. Jackets trying to clear it here. California, Oregon, Colorado, New Jersey, New York, Kentucky, Alaska, North Carolina, Utah, all over Timbuktu. They even have a couple from Ohio. There are a couple of kids on this roster locally. Grace Hayes, the senior from Trinity High School, which is over in, I guess technically that's the east side of Cleveland. She's from Sagamore Hills. Zoe Maddox from Cleveland Heights by way of College of the Holy Cross. A little stymied play there. The referee says it's Oberlin's ball. There are 24 minutes remaining in regulation. Baldwin Wallace 2, Oberlin 1. Still plenty of time for the Yo women to make a charge here. Good read from Lee. Possesses in the corner. And all in one motion, spins and flings one toward the middle. It's a pretty impressive play. But Scott equal to the task. Couple of changes lurking. Baldwin Wallace is going to bring Nina Lafko. I believe that's going to be her first appearance of the night. Lafko's played in 2 games so far. Nothing else on her line. She checks in. Sato returns for Oberlin. Foul on the Jackets.
If you take a look at the story of the second half, it has really been team with more shots on goal, BW. They're already doubling Oberlin in terms of shots on goal. In the first half, they were only up 2, so it was 3-5, and now BW's had 5 in this half alone, more than Oberlin has in the game. So the aggression has led to their lead in this half.
Good move there from Blevins. But every time Oberlin starts to build something up, it just kind of goes away. Could take a Yellow Jacket mistake to bring Oberlin back into the game. That was nicely done. Philippi. Well, Schwade looked up and saw some players doing some warm-ups over on the far side, and maybe she thought one of them was her teammate over at right back, and instead she just kicked it out of bounds. That wasn't what she had in mind. Oberlin trying to make something happen because of it. Scatino with a bad clearance, but recovers herself. Watling lost it. Sato beats her off the dribble not once but twice. She tried to turn and shoot. Misfired wide left. Good defensive persistence from Watling. A lot of game left, but at the moment the Jackets feel good about having a lead with about 20 minutes to play. Looking for their first win of the season. Clock stops at the moment. I don't believe that's gamesmanship. I think Katie Scott is just trying to tie her right shoe. And they'll resume the clock as soon as she puts it in play. How about Ella Barth? Barth beats another defender. Looking for Stewart. Back heel touch to herself, and she mishandled it. Oberlin's got to get it out of the middle of the field right now. Sato does just that. Benway up the right side. Good idea, but Philippi helps intercept it. Scatino. No. No reason yet for Oberlin to lose their patience. They think they can still stick to their normal game plan. Eventually, they're going to have to come up with an answer or two. But they have had a few chances here in this second half. It's not like they've had nothing going their way. Referee does not whistle an illegal touch. Adams feeds it forward. And the redirected pass toward Benway was not nearly on target. Referee wants to hold up the throw because of a substitution. Michelina Rush back on for BW, replacing Natalie Stewart. Not sure if that's the last we've seen of Stewart in this game, but she undoubtedly has a bright future wearing the brown and gold. Philippi working with Lafko, lost it. Adams is fouled. That was not enough for a card, but perhaps a bit sloppy from Brandy. Clock is rolling. We are approaching 17 and a half minutes left in regulation. Baldwin Wallace 2, Oberlin 1. Mitchell taps it wide to the left. Wants to play through Minson. Oberlin still has a chance here. Down by Lee. And now the Jackets rid it. Back wide toward Natasha Lee. That's a creative pass, but running out of real estate. Like the idea, though, from Sion Fici.
Checking in for Oberlin, number 8, Madeline Lynham, and number 9, Sophia Payne.
Jackets seem to be playing a little bit more cautiously later in this second half.
Scatino Ahead to Rush. Rice trying to stay on side and become an option. Rush stays with it. Michelina couldn't curl one in the top corner. So close. A goal kick.
Some great pace up the sideline. I think if that hits on goal, it's in. You're just a few inches to the right. Wasn't expecting a near side pipe shot. Creative take, but not on target.
Final quarter hour in front of us. Again, I don't think Oberlin should panic by any stretch, but I would expect that you'll start to see perhaps the urgency increase just a little bit. Maybe a few more areas where they try to press the issue a bit. I think there's a slight difference between pressing and forcing. And I don't think they're at the time of the game yet where they need to force things. They still have time to evaluate options and have some patience. But you need to pick up the pace just a bit. 1 goal difference late in the game is not a big deal. No reason for them to panic defensively. You certainly don't want to allow BW to string together a second goal and then climb into a very deep hole. If you're BW, got to play solid, sound defensive assignments. Stay home, mark your man. And you can't let Oberlin get behind you. They've showcased they've got some good speed on the attack for sure. Nothing should surprise the Jackets at this point. Good cutback and a foul. Gofon was pressing forward, wanted to find some open space, and Regal draws the whistle.
We haven't seen Oberlin try anything from too far outside, so haven't gotten to test Katie Scott quite yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried something from deep.
This is Sophia Mitchell. Curling one into a dangerous spot, punched away. Admittedly, I'm a little surprised Scott chose to punch that instead of try and catch it on the fly, especially punching it down and into the middle of the box. But it worked out okay for her. Not well struck. Lafko got to it.
The men's tennis team opens the 2021 fall season on Saturday, September 11th when it travels first to Washington, Pennsylvania for a non-conference match against Washington and Jefferson College at 11 a.m. and then to Steubenville.
I like the idea here with Adams up the left side. Scott sure-handed there. Rush fighting for the ball. Jackets looking to see if they can go through Jenna Eitel. Rice not able to catch that, but wants to reposition herself. Scatino, good intercept. Lafko. Rice got stood up. And Smith off to the side. 10 minutes to play in regulation. Yellow Jackets looking for win number 1 in 2021. They've got the upper hand, but need to close strong.
Jackets have done a nice job in the past 5 minutes or so of controlling the possession. I'd say overall, if you took a look at the game's total possession, they'd be around 65-35. Controlling possession doesn't mean that you're going to win the game, but it certainly gives you a better chance. But no sense of urgency from Oberlin yet inside 10 minutes here.
Rice in a threatening place. Tough bounce. Got away from her. Or else Sydney Rice may have scored her first Yellow Jacket goal. BW waiting to bring on 3 new players. That's Regal and Farrell and Barth all waiting over at the scores table. They got to lock in defensively here. Adams laying off to the left-hand side. Lee in the left wing. Rolled slow and low. The defense holds. Tell you what, that Jacket defense sure has some ferocity to it. That's good. You want to see that group playing with sort of a tenacious attitude. Benway. Sato. Sato lays a great pass to Lynham. What a play by Scott. Katie Scott comes sliding out to knock it away. Great play by Baldwin Wallace.
Scott makes the right read and comes up and stymies whatever Oberlin thought that they had going there.
Yo women trying to make the end of this game a little bit more entertaining, perhaps. 7:20 left in regulation. Sato lays off toward Lee. A ricochet. A good extra pass, but too far out in front of Lynham. I like the combination right now of Lee and Lynham, Benway and Sato. They're all working well together.
Yeah, Sato made a great run on that play to get open, find some space, found an open teammate who mishandled the pass, unfortunately.
4 Yellow Jacket subs waiting to check on. Joining that aforementioned group is now Bailey Hall. It's been a great team effort so far, and one BW should be proud of. Both goals belong to Brandy Philippi, junior from Columbus, Pickerington North. Lytle holding it for a moment. Brandy Philippi last spring was named Academic All-OAC. And a couple years ago earned the team's Newcomer of the Year award. Had 3 goals and 1 assist back in 2019. But has a brace tonight in one of the more memorable games of her collegiate career. We are entering the 86th minute. 2-1 Jackets. All 4 of those Yellow Jacket ladies still waiting to come on. And a foul. Mitchell lines it up. Long, high arcing ball played directly at Scott with no Yo women in the vicinity.
That's a costly turnover with 4:10 remaining. You think the free kick gives you a chance to have an opportunity late in the game.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have liked to have had a little bit better chance out of that. And now the clock will stop with a BW throw and 4 new subs coming on. Regal, Farrell, Hall, and Barth all on. Baldwin Wallace subs off Lafko, Rush. Let's see, they also checked out Bursick and Alicia Watling. They're all kind of hiding behind their teammates over on that far side. They make wholesale changes. Want to make sure I got those right for you. So some reinforcements toward the end of regulation here. 87th minute. Still 2-1 Jackets. Brandy Philippi scored what might be the game-winning goal in the 52nd minute. Assisted by Ella Barth. Brandy was in the left side of the box, received a pass that came from the right side of the field, and hit a perfect shot into the bottom right corner of the net. Look at Scatino. Fails to clear it, and it's just over the top of the bar. Great effort by Scatino. The clearance there caused at least some frustration. But the Jackets hang tough. And BW brings Margot Duval in for Sydney Rice, who gets a well-deserved high five over in front of the Jacket bench. 3 minutes to play.
Nice ball on the clear by Scott. Jackets had a couple more opportunities, but Smith has really kept them in this game. 8 saves.
Katie Scott with 2 minutes to go. Jackets might not be done quite yet. Scatino. Oberlin with one last push, perhaps. Benway in the 89th minute crosses right to a waiting Katie Scott.
Defense was set up well there. Hustled to get back into the play, and Scott's there for the save.
Oberlin with 30 seconds to play. Into the middle, just wide right. Goodness gracious, Natasha Lee almost snuck one inside that right post.
I don't think the BW defense thought that she was getting that pass into the middle off.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oberlin really made the Yellow Jackets earn it, but the first win of the season for Baldwin Wallace is a 2-1 result over the Yo women. Jim Woitkin and Dan Palmer exchange a handshake at midfield and some good-natured words between two coaches who have a lot of mutual respect for one another. That's a pretty good Oberlin team that the Yellow Jackets just knocked off 2-1 the final. Brandy Philippi, the hero today.
Yeah, definitely. 2 goals. One that was really beautiful that hit into the bottom right corner. But it wasn't just her. The defense was there the entire game. You know, they were really making it tough on Oberlin to get shots on goal. They only had 6 shots on goal. They didn't really challenge Katie Scott all that much. And BW played to their strengths.
So the Jackets will go on the road this weekend to play at Case. Then they'll come home for Hiram, Waynesburg, and Olivet for the next 3 contests. Baldwin Wallace goes to 1-3 on the season, while Oberlin drops to 2-2. Congratulations to the Jackets. They start their home slate with a victory. For Luke Schradel, I'm Brendan Gulick. Have a great rest of the night. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for the men's game against Allegheny. You've been watching Yellow Jackets Soccer on BWYellowJackets.com.